Welcome to Teams Tuesday, a podcast about mastering the best about what other people have already figured out. Teams Tuesday focuses on insights and lessons that never expire. You will walk away from every episode with actionable insights that help you get better results and be more productive.
This was about as darn easy as it gets. The client just couldn't make up their mind.
I feel like we had top.
Went from a project of 20 weeks to just 2.
The DevOps was a cultural shift.
This is Teams Tuesday with your host, Peter Ward.
Welcome to Teams Tuesday. My name's Peter Ward. I'm the host and I'm in New York City, and it's getting colder in New York City. Today we've got two fabulous presenters, Sabrina Godlier and Andreas from Germany. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you. Welcome today. I'm fine. Thanks for the invitation.
No problem. Got an interesting double act here going on here, talking about Microsoft Loop. So before we sort of kick into the sizzle, tell me, how long have you guys been working with SharePoint?
For me, the first touch point with SharePoint was in, let me think, it was around about 2009, I think.
Okay, 2009. So that was SharePoint 2010 or 2007?
7.
All right,
It was
okay.
SharePoint 2007, and also a very old server, which I took from a previous colleague with Windows SharePoint services.
Oh my God, yes. All right. What about yourself, Sabrina?
I'm working with SharePoint only as an end user. So I think my first touch was about 3 or 4 years ago. So I'm just only an end user in SharePoint, not very admin.
Right. That's all right. So we were just talking before the show, and I was talking to Andreas, and PowerShell is your second language, second native language.
Yeah.
Okay. So are you one of these people who've just got tons and tons of PowerShell scripts on your PC?
This is a very good description. I have tons of PowerShell scripts on my PC for a lot of different use cases, and a lot of different programs for Exchange, for SharePoint, for Entra IT Connect, for Windows Server, Windows clients, everything. Yeah, that's right.
Okay. And Sabrina, you're getting into the Copilot. What's your favorite feature of Copilot?
I think my most life-saving feature is the meeting comprehension, because I'm jumping from one meeting to another meeting into another meeting, and it's sometimes very hard to summarize the different discussions and define the top actions in these meetings. And so Copilot is here for me a really key changer. Summarize it automatically, it defines the key action, mentions the right person in this key action, and I'm very happy that I have this tool in the future, and I can attend as more concentrated in this meeting and have to not concentrate on writing down the discussion items and so on. And I think this is the most helpful topic for me in my meeting day of life.
Right. Okay. All right. No. Copilot is Microsoft have put a bet the farm on Copilot. You can see it in the whole AI thing, and obviously AI is the next is going to be really rock and roll in the next in the next 5 years. Every product company is jumping onto this. Now in this meetup we're talking about Loop. Okay, now Loop came out a few years ago. We use it quite a lot and extensively. What are the bits with this demo? What are the key features? Is it real-time collaboration, integration into data, perhaps?
Not really integration to data, because we do not have so much time.
Okay.
This would be a much larger session. We do not have time for this today. It's about real-time collaboration and integration of Loop into the Microsoft 365 universe.
All right, sounds good. All right, I will push this over to you if you want to share your screen and kick it off. So this is the warm-up. Now this is the real part of the show.
Okay, so I start sharing my screen and we start. Okay. Yeah, so as we said in the beginning, my name is Andreas. I'm from wonderful Germany, from Regensburg, wonderful city. Visit it if you have never been there before. In this demo today, I will switch my identity from Andreas to Spider-Man for our demo. If I'm not Spider-Man, then here you can scan this QR code and connect with me, for example, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, which is now known as X. What do I do all the day if I do not talk on meetups or on conferences, for example? I do everything about Microsoft 365 with modern work and security. The only thing I and my company do not touch is Dynamics. We sell the licenses, but that's it. The implementation and all that high fancy stuff can be done by other people. Yeah, and as Peter already mentioned, I love PowerShell. I tend to say PowerShell is my second native language. I love automation. I love scripting. This is my life. Yeah, and in my free time, I try to go out and look, or breathe a little bit of fresh air. But as you can imagine, with that job, there's not so much free time.
Okay, cool.
That's about me. Sabrina, do you want to say some words about you?
Yes. Hi, my name is Sabrina. I'm switching today in the role Venom. This is one of my favorite characters. I have also here a QR code for you to scan. In my full-time job, I'm working as an IT project manager. Most of the time, we focus on M365 projects. And beside of that, and because I love to go deeper into the technologies, I'm also working as a modern web consultant. Yeah, and as I said, I love Microsoft and I love the tools and stuff. Yeah, I'm naming me myself as an M365 evangelist, but I'm also very into the metaverse topics. Yeah, I try to find out possibilities about Mesh and working and playing in metaverse. So this is also one of my favorite topics. And in my free time, and if the weather is warm enough, I'm riding my motorcycle.
Very
So,
cool. What have you got? What motorcycle do you have?
a Yamaha MT-03, but I'm planning to buy in the next 2 or 3 years a bigger one.
What, another Yamaha?
I
BM?
think it will be a Kawasaki or a BMW.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. Okay. Less of the motorcycles.
Okay.
Let's talk about the Microsoft.
Okay, yeah, we can talk about motorcycles in half an hour roundabout. Okay, so now if you ask yourself, what are these guys doing? Why do they take on names of superheroes? Because this is our use case for today. We try to put Loop into a little story that it's much more fun to listen to us. And yeah, as you heard, Sabrina and I am superheroes today. I'm Spider-Man, Sabrina is Venom, and we have our project called Save the World. We have to protect the world from all the evil, and this is called Project STW. And we do all our project management here, as you can already see in Microsoft Loop. And this is the use case of today. We do our project management here. All organization, everything we do is in Loop. And this is what we want to show you. First of all, to understand a little bit how it works, Loop is, as of today, in public preview. That means you can use it, but at your own risk. It's not yet generally released. This can be also seen at this little hint preview next to the name. And Loop organizes itself with workspaces. When you go to loop.microsoft.com, if it is enabled in your tenant, you see workspaces. Workspace means there you can put in all your data is collected, your data is separated into different workspaces. Workspace 1 has data of this type, Workspace 2 has data of another type, Workspace 3 has data of a completely different type, so it's organized. For example, one workspace for IT documentation, one for human resources, one for developers, and so on and so on. This is how Loop organizes itself. Inside the workspaces, which you can already see here, what we prepared, we have so-called Loop pages. On these Loop pages, this is where all your data is stored, where you write down all your data. And you see it here, Project STW, Save the World, with a little introduction. What is this project about? We see a little description about the dark forces, our enemies, about the bosses we have to defeat in the end, and our superheroes. What are they? Who are they? What are they about? How are they acting? And so on and so on. And then the next thing we can see here, there are chapters. And with these chapters, you also can do your own structure. It's like a table of contents, to describe it like that. You can do separate pages for certain topics just to organize your data. This is very important to know. Maybe some guys of you know Confluence or use Confluence. It's it's not exactly the same, but it's similar, very similar. And I already know companies, including mine, that say, okay, we will replace Confluence with Loop, because we do a lot of documentation there. And we had Confluence for this because Microsoft had nothing really good before they launched Loop, because with SharePoint it is possible, but it is, it's not so funny sometimes. And with Loop, now they have a tool that can do that. And it's very easy. So if we say now here we get third superhero, we just click on these three dots, say a new subpage, and then, for example, we can write a chapter about Hulk or Doctor Strange or whoever will join our forces. And then we can write our text here, blah, 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 and that's it. If you make a mistake and create a page in, not in the right structure where it has to be, you can also move this. So you can reorganize this anytime, just as you saw. I can move this page anywhere to another chapter. If Gorka, he's generated by ChatGPT, not my creation, all the story. If he changes the sides and moves to our forces, then we move him to superheroes. If he changes back to his colleagues, the bosses, then we move him back to his chapter where he belongs. So we are very flexible with that. To make all this a little bit more lively, as you see on each page, you can add banners, covers like Microsoft calls it. Of course, these covers, if it works, no, the button doesn't work. You can search for something. For example, if you search like for Monster, that cover came. This is a picture Microsoft recommended to me. And what you can also do is here add an icon. We can add an icon. This is nothing more or less than an emoji, which you can add to the side, and then it gets a little bit lively in the more lively in the table of contents. So you can make all this. If you remember the initial promo videos from Microsoft, everything with smileys, thumbs up, laughing and smiling faces and things like this. And this is a very important aspect to make the work more fun. And what you see now on the right side here, you can always see where are your colleagues currently in this Loop page. So the people that have access to this workspace, where are they? And you saw in the background this picture changed. So Venom tried to prank my show and changes the colors in the background. So this is all in real time. And this is especially interesting for our last page here, which is called Cost and Orga. So now in our use case, we have defended the world. Everybody is happy. Everybody is safe. So now we want to organize a big party. And this big party is to celebrate, yes, we defeated all the evil. So we make a big party. We need some food. We need some drinks. And we try to plan this together. And together is the most important word in that sentence. So what we can do now is fill this Loop page with live. And if you just type / on your keyboard on that Loop page, a Loop offers you a variety of things you can do here. You can insert a table, checklist, bulleted list, and so on and so on. And for example, now I can do a bulleted list here and say, okay, no, do not want a bulleted list. I want a checklist that someone who fulfills this can check this item. I want, what do I want? I want pork, I want beef, I want a salad, for example. So, and the other thing which we see, there is a little V running around on that page. Now I have my fingers from the keyboard. Venom is writing in the background and I see it in real time. What is Venom planning on that page? What is his or her or its input? And we create this text, this list, this whatever together. And this is also the most important reason why we only do this together and not only one person, because then you can show that it's really like this. What we also see now next to food, there is a purple dot. That means at food, something has changed. When we go over that, we see Venom has changed something. Venom has worked on our data. We have a new version of that. That is great. Talking of version, Loop already has a version history on the upper right corner. Here we see a version history that we can see who has changed the site, who has done changes, who has done what on this page. And also very important, now you remember we also invited Hulk to our superhero round. What if we want to invite Hulk to work with us in this workspace? Of course, we can share the whole workspace, only that page, or what Venom will do in around about 2 minutes, only a Loop component with another people to invite them to join us working on a specific data set planning, in this case, for example, the food here. I can also, as a workspace owner, say, okay, here I have 2 workspace members. add someone else and invite Hulk directly, or for example, another superhero, we need Thor. So I can extend the list of people anytime. If I do it this way, they get access to the whole workspace with no exclusion. Unfortunately, I have no chance to say, okay, Hulk may not be able to change anything on the page of Spider-Man. Maybe this will come in the future, but I personally think this is not so bad.
Right.
One more thing before I hand over to Venom, which I want to show you, is something very, very new, which is really, really cool. And this is the so-called planner integration. If you have a planner, which I have prepared here. Yes, this planner is not the prettiest one in the world, but it is a planner, and that is what it's all about. I just copy out that link, and I paste in this link here, and then some magic happens, and you see we have the complete planner here. So Loop recognizes I am inserting a link to a planner, and it says, okay, so I do not just provide a link for the people, no, I provide them the planner. And now, if the demo gods like us today, then Venom can go to this planner, and we just saw, like with magic, a new task appeared here, room planning. Venom did this in the planner, and this is all, again, in real time. We can work in real time, one in the planner, the other one in Loop. I can also add a new one here, party, and say by balloons, add this task, and when I switch back to my planner, I hope this will be there too. I have to reload, of course. Now here we have by balloons. And if I enter a planner or add a planner like this one, where Venom has no access to that, may not see the data, then I hope Venom will show you when Sabrina started sharing that she will not see the contents of this planner because Venom has no permissions here. So there will be a hint. Yeah, there would be a planner if you would have the permissions for that. And by saying that, Sabrina, continue with your magic stuff.
But I have to tell you, I can see the planner.
You can see the planner, so you have
it.
Okay, so you have to believe me. So I picked up the wrong accidentally.
Okay, so I hope you can see everything on my screen.
Yep.
And a good party is only working with the right amount of budget. So let's start to go to our cost estimations. So we can choose which way of surface we want to have to try to evaluate how many costs we have in this project. And I prefer a table here, so I also type in the front slash and I got the different types that I can choose. I choose a table because I think it's the most common topic for this here. I can change the name of the column, so I have to double click here and can change it to topic, and this is the price. And what is really cool here is that I can change the type of this column. So if I click on this dart, I can change column type and type here to number. And the number type is cool because if I type in here 100 and here 200, you can see the summarize here at the end of the table. And this is very helpful. So I have a very quick overview how high is the price here, and I do not need any calculator here. So I think this is a small but a very useful function here. So, and one of the most important topics of Loop is that you do not have to work only if in your Loop component. You can, or in your Loop app, you can take this components and put it in whatever app you prefer. So if I want to take this food and create a Loop component with it and say, okay, I need to tell Spider-Man in a one-to-one chat how many food he needs to buy. I take this component I have here in the upper right section, a copy component button. I click on it. It takes a while. Then I switch to our normal Teams overview, and I have here an open chat with Spider-Man. And now I can only paste it here. It takes a small seconds, and now you can see the Loop component from the Loop app. And if Spider-Man adds some food because maybe he do not like chicken, he wants another food topic, we also can see it in real time. So he already bought the chicken yesterday and he prefers veggie food. We can really see it in real time, and this is very cool. So you can always decide, working with Loop components, which is your favorite app you want to work with. The same thing I can choose if I have maybe a Spider-Man in our company who always prefer writing and reading emails. Maybe this is an old Spider-Man. He likes Outlook the most. I can also copy here the component, go to my email client, click on new email, go to Spider-Man, tell him please buy our food for the big party, and do the same like in our Teams overview. Just paste it in here. It takes a few seconds, and now you can see our Loop component with food in it. And if he wants to change anything or he wants to check one of the checklist items, I can also see it in real time and I can send it to him. And you can always have the one Loop component in your app overview, and you can always choose, okay, today I want to prefer working with Teams, or Spider-Man is preferring working with emails, and so on. And you do not have to copy and paste the items in a new Word document, or so you have the same document, the same loop in different application. And this is the coolest thing here in Loop. You have no doubled documents, an old 1, 2, 3 word. So everyone knows the documents with the strange name is old.1, old.2, and so on and so on. And this is the most, or the best feature here in the Loop component.
Okay, so that's a document library. What's the difference between this and a document library?
Andres, do you want to answer?
No, just continue.
It's not really a document library because you can always change everything. It has not the governance tools, or currently not the governance tools or security tools in the background, that you have the security that no one can touch the food checklist and can so Spider-Man can every minute change your food checklist here. So you have no security features here that hindered you, that prevent him that he changes anything here.
Well, the biggest difference is in a document library, you upload documents, Excel files, Word document, PDF files, and so on, and they contain certain data information. And that information can be a Loop component, for example. In a Loop component, usually you do not upload documents, you just exchange data, you work on data, not data like a database, but with information. You work on real-time information together with your colleagues. And once this information is finished, then you can transform it to a document, for example, if you need this. For example, we all are doing stuff for customers. We can use Loop to brainstorm about ideas. How can we solve this and that problem at the customer? And then once we finish, we can put the result into a concept document, for example.
Right, okay.
Yes, because you have in every component the function to add comments here. So I can add a comment to say, okay, Spider-Man, please do not buy salad or anything else. So you can discuss in the Loop components about the topics in this Loop component, for example.
Mm-hmm. So it's interesting you mentioned like Confluence and Loop. Like Confluence is a full-on like wiki content management tool, and I have heard people using Loop as a replacement, on that. So it might not be as good as Confluence, but it's definitely very close enough for the standard for most people's needs.
In my personal opinion, yes. Once Loop is GA, definitely. As of today, because it's still a preview, I tell to my customers, pilot deployment, yes. Productive deployment for the whole company, no. because it's preview, anything can change. And as of today, if anything is deleted, it's gone. But
Right.
it's all preview, it's all on your own risk. This is always the case with previews if you do it with Microsoft. So this is nothing new. You just need to be aware of that. Yeah, and something else which I wanted to add to what Sabrina what Sabrina said, and then we are finished in general. Microsoft announced recently is that you can add these loop components not only to a one-on-one or a group chat, but also to Teams channels. Because currently this is not working. There's no chance to add a loop component to a Teams channel. But now this is announced. This will come. I think the timeline was November, if I'm right. Then Microsoft is planning to roll this out to the world.
I think you're right in that, because I look at the release schedule as well. And I think you're right in that. Is there what about Copilot integration?
Yes.
How could you forget that?
Yeah, in our productive tenant, it is already working. This is just our demo tenant, and there is no Copilot license in here, but in my productive tenant, I already used it, and it's fully integrated like in the Word document, so you can create new components with the Copilot, like, for example, an agenda for your next brainstorming meeting and so on. And you can summarize your workspaces. And this is also very cool. So if you have workspaces with a lot of text and it's too boring to read everything, you can ask Copilot that he will summarize it. So the Loop Copilot integration is also integrated in the $30 license for the M365 Copilot. And it's working already, and it's working right now. But the Copilot is still in preview until the 1st of November, so we have to wait a little bit more.
Yeah, but Loop is one of the tools besides Teams and SharePoint and Exchange and the M365 apps, one of the officially announced apps that will support Copilot from the beginning of November.
Yeah, and it's still working. I work with it in my productive tenant.
Do you guys want to describe Mesh?
I tried it one time because you need Teams premium license, and I think this is not so good for the Mesh start. It's a little bit difficult, and it has not really much features right now, but I think I will test it definitely in the future with more time, with more spare time. I did not have the time to practice a lot with Mesh right now, but I think it's a very interesting topic to try it out, to change our meetings a little bit, because I think we are too often in our home office and too often just in front of our screens. And I think Mesh can help us a little bit to be more personal in our home office life, I think.
Mesh is a topic for Christmas holidays, because you remember I love PowerShell, so I'm an educated developer to say it like this. And for Mesh, Microsoft released the Mesh toolkit, which is based on the Unity engine. And for Christmas holiday, I want to have a deep look at that, because I know the Unity engine is very easy to learn engine. Yeah, and that's my plan for next year to be able to handle it.
All right. Okay, very cool on that. This is a good instructional demo, actually. So we're towards the tail end of this. Let's have a quick rapid fire question here. Okay, so someone as you know, I sent you some questions earlier. At the age of 19, you started your first IT job. Who was this? Was that you, Sabrina, or Andreas? Who was that?
I think I was it, because in Germany, we do not have the structure with high school and college and so on. So I finished my school with 16 and did a job. After that, I did a more technical job, not very IT job. And after the 3 years of this job, I joined my first IT job as an IT supporter for first and second level. And so, I jumped into the IT, and now I'm very deep in this rabbit hole.
Is that where you learned how to do Jira tickets?
I love people, and I learned that I love people very much.
Andreas, can you create a Jira ticket in PowerShell?
If I find the API for that, yes. I have never done it before, but I would look at the API,
Right,
and
okay.
I'm pretty sure
And-
it will work.
all right.
Yeah.
And who drinks a lot of coffee between 5 and 7 p.m.?
I think both of us are.
No,
Coffee
no, because I
coffee
stopped.
is
No,
my
I stopped drinking.
lifesaver.
I stopped drinking coffee half a year ago. It's only tea for me.
Okay, Sabrina. Okay, and of course, all right, there is the Oktoberfest coming up, actually. So both of you, thank you for your time. Very entertaining and educational, and we'll send a recording. But great to speak to you both on this.
Thanks again for
Thanks
the invitation. It was fun.
Thank you for
Pleasure
being
to be
guests.
here.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.